What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 15 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Hellbeard Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, and speaking of Hellbeard, he has recruited the forces necessary to split several of our armies into hopefully 3, with obviously some hobgoblabers and stuff thrown in, but just sort of the basis of several armies that will be complemented by further units, but as long as it's enough to function, we're going to need it because, well, war has begun with many a faction at the same time. We are still trying to get desperately, I should say, trying to get the Spinosotek Dwarfs to remain our friends, considering the ludicrous amount of aversion that they have, and we'll continue working away at it by giving them territory. I mean, even if they break the agreement, as long as they don't just declare war on us, that would be just great. Just gonna have to continue it. And hopefully we can make it. Anyway, the thing that we have to do this turn still, I do believe, is this little attack. Scaff Growlsh is stuck here, unfortunately. I say unfortunately because he's going to pick up some of these units here. And you guys, I guess, are going to attack Chupa Yodel. There's a gold mine there, so it'll certainly be worthy of our time. I guess we could put this on... Oh, I was about to say on one of the magma cannons, but not so much. Melee attack plus 5 and weapon strength plus 10%. Again, it's best on the Skullcracker, but I still feel like the Banners of Swiftness make them stronger. The Wayfarer alone from the acceleration and deceleration plus the speed is, well, and goes well into making them unstoppable. But anyway, we got a lot of skinks to burn, so let's get burning.
Dwarfs anatabalatu mardu, unmardu hahashala.
Alright, here we go. We get a big old pile of lizards against us, and I have to say I have been enjoying fighting in the jungle, generally speaking. I like how nice and visible everything is. I was afraid a little bit, worried about the fact that I'd miss out on fighting essentially, fighting in the Darklands because of all the lovely Chaos Dwarf maps, which are also pretty decently visible as well, but with all of that sort of industrial stuff everywhere and the pollution and oil slicks and whatnot. Well, the jungles have been very nice, and certainly a new environment for the Chaos Dwarfs to ply their brutal trade. Anyway, we have got the enemy deployed all the way at a distance away from us, and our magma cannons are doing great work firing upon them, especially with that flaming sword of ruin and buffing them up, and their accuracy increased by the disdain of the Dragon Emperor. It does look like the first of the enemy fast movers are moving up on our left and rightmost flanks here, with Pterodon Riders supporting units of Feral Cold Ones and Cold One Riders, and thusly we will move 2 units of well, Chaos Warriors and a unit of Blunderbusses and to try to defend against them. And the Blunderbusses will rather rapidly take out the Pterodon Riders, as Pterodons are extremely fragile, so they'll be susceptible to this kind of thing. And it looks like the range support of the fast movers is gone, so they'll only have their melee to rely upon. Still, while we are doing decent damage to the enemy skinks, there are just so many as the enemy outnumbers us pretty severely. And they could, in theory, overrun our army, especially since in this particular case we won't have the giant pile of laborers to rely upon, as we did admittedly rely upon them to win battles past against the lizards. Ooh, does look like the solar engine has at this point moved up and has begun firing upon us, and we can't have that. So our 3 Bull Centaur Taurucs, together for at least a little bit longer, eventually going to be split into, well, 2 different armies. But for now, they're going to try to charge through and move towards that Bastille with a solar engine as soon as it gets a little bit closer, or just in a moment or so. Yeah, can't have that thing firing away at our magma cannons. Actually, out of curiosity, magma cannons have 20% fire resistance. Weak. I can at least, I can at least live with that. I can't so much live with the knowing that Kadai don't have good fire resistance. Or at least nowhere near the degree they should. It's just going to bother me. But what can you do? Anyway, big old battlefield spread out across the map as the sheer number of enemy units moves towards us. We got the Skullcrackers moving on in to help out the units of Chaos Dwarf Warriors as they defend. The units of Skink Skirmishers and Javelin Skinks move up to add their range fire in support of the Feral Cold Ones as they fight the Chaos Dwarf Warriors, while the other unit of Fast Movers peels away, or other units of Fast Movers peel away, to ride down the blunderbusses and continue following these Skullcrackers into the fight, which are going to have to turn and just hold the enemy back. Our Bull Centaur Torx can't help anchor the line, as all three of them have at this point moved to silencing that darn solar engine, so the rest of our army is just going to have to do its best to hold. The Granite Guard and the other blunderbusses firing away at the enemy units, though I take it with the sort of missile resistance of the Chameleon Skinks, that's going to prove something of an issue. And again, it's the enemy definitely has numbers on their side here. And by the looks of it, pretty much every single one of our units is engaged at this point, and this battle turned to be more desperate than I had originally surmised. Credit where it's due to the Skinks, not to be underestimated. Gonna have to put our two Skullcrackers to great use. There we go. If enemy wants to charge in and make a nice little line fighting our own units, we'll take advantage of that and charge through them all with the Skullcrackers. Help out as many of our units as we can. The range fire will continue, and frankly, if the enemy wants to close the distance with the Granite Guard, they're pretty decent melee combatants as well. Maybe not Temple Guard level combatants, but the Temple Guard will be softened up quite a bit by range fire before they start getting hit with those axes. Alright, and the Granite Guard into the fray, leaving us with one blunderbuss unit now still not in melee. The magma cannons on the bright side, however, are still firing. And quite effectively by the looks of it, and looks like at long last the solar engine has been brought down by the Bull Centaur Torx. There are a couple of units of Skinks that are surrounding them, but considering the sheer number of Skinks on the map, it doesn't really matter. We can also help them out by having the magma cannons clear them out rather quickly, as frankly they have started to at long last run out of enemies to fire upon where they are. And in fact, it looks like with that the enemy army will shatter, and the battle is ours. We held the tide of lizards off once more, but they were a great foe and severely damaged several of our units, so good for them. Alright, there we go. Actually a very solid fight. The sheer number of the enemies was quite to their advantage, and of course, unlike the Temple Guard and Saurus that we've been fighting with regards to the previous Lizardman battles against the other factions, the giant piles of Skinks are significantly faster and are able to close the distance much better than the Saurus and the Temple Guard are, so they're able to fight more with the Feral Cold Ones and the Cold One Riders than the slower elements, which is nice. And that said, this is also an ideal situation for the magma cannons. They have not done anywhere near as much damage as they did here with the 74k on the best performing one, actually significantly outdoing the Skullcrackers, which have in battles past against the other battles outdone the magma cannons. Pretty interesting dynamic. Alright. Very good work for everybody involved. I think the Street Sweeper is just slightly out-damaging the other Chaos Dwarf Blunderbuss. You know what? We should name that unit. Upayodel. You have to be a factory because you're on the coastline. I wish you could have gotten the money thing rather than the armaments thing, to be perfectly honest. I'm almost tempted to delete it and replace it with the money thing. Keep it for now. We'll see later. And missions successful. Good. A free glittering scales, a scepter of stability, which admittedly we don't care as much for, and a berserker sword, which we can hopefully turn into something a little bit more useful. Great Taurus for somebody good. You two, stay out here. I'm hoping that nobody can besiege this territory and thereby allow everybody else to attack it, but it looks like the Cult of Sotek is pretty weak right now. And next up, we will not transfer anything here because this is going to be all factories because it's a coastline once again. Yes. Oh. The Lizardman harbors get construction cost reduction in all adjacent provinces. Well, that's great for them. But our own harbors do. Our own harbors do useful things too, and not to worry. Anyway, as I was saying, street sweepers, we will give you a little friend here. Fist mates. It's not a Slaanesh army. First mates firing squad. Just fit. Alrighty. Gotta watch out for that character limit, and I believe we're ready to end the turn and continue. Yes, yes, yes. 3 or 2 settlements on these guys? 2. Alright, so Subaton, we'll see if Thrice Cursed Peak falls to Itza, or Sentinels of Time, rather. Thrice Cursed Peak we've already taken and transferred. And otherwise, we got 3 turns until we can potentially cancel this agreement. 2 turns, so that we can get friendlier with the regular dwarfs. Much as I'd like bone giants, we might eventually be able to get them from Khemri, and I care about those a lot. I care about flamethrowers a lot more, and flame cannons, than those guys. And trollhammer torpedoes. And gyrocopters. And thunder barges. And pirate slayers, and all kinds of slayers. And really pretty much everything in the Dwarfen roster would work very nicely with the Chaos Dwarfen roster, go figure. And ooh, underway interception, poor little rats. Auto-resolve, goodbye. More damage than I'd like, so I think we'll heal up, though it's not much. Hopefully we're not so damaged that we now can't attack. Maybe I shouldn't have auto-resolve. Huh. I guess Lord Skrolk died? I haven't seen him. He must have gotten defeated by the lizards, considering they had a decent number of armies running around. Also, I'm willing to bet there's going to be a billion plagues spread, and oh, I was going to end that up myself to get the free bonus from the breaking of agreements. Well, fair enough. Now, the question is, do we still have a military access agreement with you, or was that part of the thing? You need numbers. Tower of Jar, Zatan's Menace, a seat you controlled. Oh, please don't be an important seat. Which seat was this? Wounded? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. He just came up here. Oh, wait. Oh, that's that's not good. That is a critical one that was actually reducing costs of these guys. Damn it. Alright, that's annoying. And Infernal Castellan, gotta keep an eye on new ones, though. I would have preferred the sniper to be wounded, actually. And Technology Researched Conclave Influence. At least now we have more influence. Army receives Plague, Abnagg Hellbeard. Unsurprising, since he has the Earthfather's crown. Ice Core destroyed. Don't care about the Ogre Blade. And which seat got usurped? Okay, so it's not these 2. This one got usurped. Grants a random weapon or armor every 3 turns. We actually got some good weapons and armor out of that, which is a little bit irritating, but it is what it is. I don't really care about the global recruitment reduction right now. We might then want to usurp another seat. The question is which one. It has to be in this land. We could usurp the Grants a Random Follower. Tiny bit of income from trade tariffs. Yeah, there's potential for that as well. And these are relatively cheap to usurp as well. Alright, this one gives us a decent little extra bit of armaments and armaments output faction wide, but we would have to wait the turn. I'm gonna say take this one for the trade tariffs, or maybe the random follower or banner. Yeah, take the follower or banner. Like so, and then we'll take that one as well. Alrighty, Tower of Jar. Oh no, not diplomatic relations with the AI is perfectly happy doing that, so why shouldn't we be? The Temple of Kashut, this is effectively +5 conclave influence per turn, which admittedly is not all that much. I'm much more inclined to move towards extended shifts and grab that raw materials output +10%. Frankly, unilateral agreements and the additional convoys would also be great. Industrial Revolution for the construction cost reduction is also great. Plus, this allows us to go through the armaments output and income increase, but it's 6 turns. And raw materials are gating us more than the rest of the stuff, at least at this moment. You're moving up to Oishul. I doubt you'll take it, especially with Abnagg nearby. In fact, I wonder if you'd fight Abnagg in his current state, or whether you'd run. Oh, really? They sacked the place? They actually sacked the place? Is that what they did here? Yeah, 2 settlements. They refused to destroy it. Of course they did. OAI. You go to Subaton, and I guess we just auto-resolve it. There's not much here. It'll damage us pretty severely, but it's not really worthy of a fight. How are you feeling now? -99. Alright, starting to be a little bit better. We need to give them more gifts, though. And the next place was going to be Hoyshul, funnily enough, which we need to rush in order to build a military structure, which we should do fairly soon. Are you not able to reach this? You are unfortunately not. Watch me get assassinated too. Alrighty, Abnagg, I guess we're gonna try to send you into the fight and Gorok's right there. I don't know if we can get the defeat rate on of him. What was Gorok's defeat rate, incidentally? Prophet of Doom, Movable Mountain, Expert Charge, Offense, and Leadership. It's kind of terrible. So we don't really care about it. Can't go to Mangrove Coast anyway. And we should probably take down the Southern Sentinels. Alright, let's see if by... Oh. Neither of you will be able to reach Gorok. So he can reach Chupa Yodel, but we can't reach him. Great. Just great. And I don't really want to lose the place. That's kind of annoying. Alrighty, I'm not entirely sure what to do there yet, but let's start by moving Abnagg in to attack you. And you'll fight. Oh, isn't that lovely? Let's see. This isn't really Abnagg's army, but it is an army that will serve for now. Before it gets split up. Besides, it's an easy way to check out some more stuff. Death Shriekers, Bull Centaurs, Bell Centaurs, Infernal Guard, Infernal Ironsworn, Fire Glaives, Hell Cannons. Lots of good stuff here. Go. Alrighty, here we go. Abnagg Hellbeard, the leader of our faction, has once more entered the field. Took him a little bit of time to get back, of course, with that 20 turns of being wounded, which matters a fair bit. But oh wow. Infernal Ironsworn looking pretty darn great here. We've also got our Fire Glaives, which I'm sure will put to great use, and looking pretty fantastic in their sort of ruddy, rusted, bronzish armor that they've got. We got our Bull Centaur renders with great weapons, which will be protecting our flanks. We've got the Death Shrieker rockets as well as the Hell Cannons for some proper Chaos Dwarfen artillery, and we've even got a few units of Infernal Guard to protect the Fire Glaives. Not that the Fire Glaives aren't great in melee already. Or decent, I suppose. 39-41, but with a solid anti-large bonus as well. And most of their arm damage is armor-piercing at that. Anyway, looks like we will start by annoying the enemy when we can see them, as this type of slan ensures that the entire enemy army is hidden. Can't have that, so we will run a unit of Bull Centaur renders ahead of the enemy army to summon the Kadai Fireborn amongst the enemy ranks. We're not looking to actually bombard them with artillery, or at least not the blob. We are looking to identify the slan so that we can target it with our Death Shriekers, as we switch them to their single target Demolisher rockets, which are great against blob, or which are great against the single entities like this, and have them fire at the slan. The slan's ability to hide its entire army is too irritating. So we hit the slan pretty hard, taking about half of its HP and damage with the first big volley, and the slan does kill off 2 of our Bull Centaur renders by sending a Shem's Burning Gaze our way, and it looks like his army has taken down the Kadai Fireborn. Unfortunately, this allows the enemy army to hide for a few seconds, but even hidden, the last few of the Demolisher rockets hit the enemy slan and force him to waver, and by the looks of it, rout. As soon as he routs, the entire enemy army is revealed. I'm not entirely sure what the function is. I thought he just offered stock to the entire army. No, actually no, they are still, well, some of them are hidden, and some of them are not. Oh no, they just have hide, but they're no longer hidden. Yeah, now the entire enemy army is visible, which means the Death Shriekers can switch to their multi-shot fire. The Hill Cannons have free reign to punish the enemy as they approach, and now supported by those Sky Lanterns. And I know I've said this like a million times, but you gotta admit the Sky Lanterns look absolutely perfect with Chaos Dwarfen armies. Again, I wasn't expecting it, but them floating over these defensible position like this, supporting the artillery is just fantastic. And supporting the range units, since they do offer, Shield Breaker on their range fire. Alright, it looks like the first of the enemies have drawn close enough for our fire glaives to take their first pews at the enemy. I just love listening to those lasers. Alrighty, well, the fire glaives do have a lot more range than the blunderbusses do. In fact, just about twice as much, so they can punish the enemy for a lot longer than they can. And of course, the demolisher rockets continue to come down amongst the enemy. Abnagg has certainly led a pretty elite force here. Granted, it's made up of units that are supposed to go into multiple armies, but as an army on its own, it does work pretty darn well. It does look like a unit of Fire Leech Bolas has moved on in, but is lobbing those Bolas at a unit of Infernal Ironsworn with their 40% fire resistance and their 155 armor, as well as their gold shield, blocking 80% with the thanks of the War Drum. Needless to say, the Fire Leech Bolas do basically nothing to the Infernal Ironsworn, maybe taking out only about 5% of their HP and damage, despite the fact that they are a tight formation unit. Could use a little bit more missile resistance, but anyway. Keep in mind that as yet we have not used any of our armaments to increase our units' capabilities. More of a mid to late game. Well, I guess we're in mid game now, but it's more of a late game thing, as we need armaments to get capacities for heroes for all of our armies. Especially considering the Demon Smiths repair our machinery, we do need bunches of Demon Smiths. Anyway, the enemy army are here at last. Some naphtha bombs let loose by the Infernal Ironsworn. Granted, we've seen naphtha bombs in battles past, thanks to the Blazing Beards of Bajorak. But these guys send those poor Saurus spears running before they even reach the main line. And the lasers continue gunning down Saurus and Temple Guard, and the range fire continues coming down on the enemy as well. Honestly, if we didn't need to split this army up, I'd just keep this composition, because it does seem to work pretty darn well. And in fact, the enemy army is down to the dregs now. The bounce power is at about 90% in our favor, and pretty much only the right flank is where the enemy is still fighting. Thusly, Abnagg himself will lend his axe to the fray, leading the Infernal Guard in the fight against the Temple Guard. Kind of hard to spot amongst his line of units, especially when he's on foot, but I might keep him on foot. I find it interesting that the Overseers use the same kind of hat that Chaos Dwarf Warriors do, rather than an Infernal Guard head. Well, actually, that does kind of make sense. But anyway, there we go. With that, the Temple Guard over on the right flank shatter, and they were the last units still in the fight, and the battle is ours with, I don't know, very, very few casualties. I think most of the casualties were taken from the Bull Centaur Renders getting hit by Shem's Burning Gaze from that slan. A little bit of damage to the Skullcracker, and some of that might have been from friendly fire, but overall, the enemy army was annihilated. Alright, there we go. A nice debut for some of these units. The Hell Cannons did absolutely fantastic, 34,000 and 18,000 damage, and we were able to use the Summon of the Kadai to identify the enemy slan, which was keeping the entire enemy army in stock and thus hidden from our sight, and then obliterate it with the Demolisher rockets, and afterwards it got vision of the entire enemy army. The Fire Glaives pew-pewed their way to victory, 18k damage at the top, and sadly, since most of the enemy army died in range, they, well, we didn't get too much mileage out of our melee units, with the exception of the Bull Centaur Renders, which protected the flanks, and the Skullcrackers, which, as we've seen already, always do well. We are going to take the money, because we get more money than labor out of this. Yes. And we need lots and lots of cash, and also, good lord, we have so many plagues going everywhere. Oh, and this is with the plague debuff, mind you. Melee attack and missile, so speed, melee attack, and melee and missile reduction is fairly severe. Oh, you can catch this guy? That's great. That is just great. I'm not being sarcastic. Also, why didn't I move you in to support and leech the XP? I don't know. Huh. I guess it was, oh, I suppose we could move you in to support Rugni, but he can auto-resolve this anyway, and I don't really see the need. Alrighty, auto-resolve Subaton. Like so. Some damage, but this army has fought a million billion times already, and will occupy Sabatinna's factory as well. And we got to keep the goat herd, but it's the Hobgob mustering camp and the other thing that we need. Hopefully this will still be worth a decent amount. Alrighty. 98. Okay, then what we will want to do is doesn't have time. Shodel, this we're working on, as well as Itza. Doesn't have time. I'm just wondering which things do we want to rush. How much is Sabatin and Oishel worth to you, just out of curiosity? Oishel is worth 115, which is not bad. We can make it worth more. Shodel is worth 35, so not... Oh, really? That's it? Oh, we'll have to upgrade it in order to make it worth more. Alright, we'll upgrade Shodel right now. Under the assumption that it will be traded. And Oishel we will need to rush, so we'll need to transfer like 500 labor over to... What is this place called? This is the Lost Valley. Okay, do we have spare... Ooh, we don't actually have as much labor as I'd like, especially since we need to make this investiture, but it is what it is. Let's take some labor from... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And all to... Oh no. It's the Lost Valley, right? I think it's the Lost Valley. I'm gonna hope that it is. Alright, this is the Lost Valley? Yes, okay. I got worried that I confused myself as to where we actually are. Oishel, and you will go for the Ash level, which we will need to transfer a little bit more to Rush. Yeah. I mean, we could forgo rushing it right now. Also, before I forget, you go here and... yeah. Alright, you go here. Abnagg. Abnagg, get this. Don't I should giggle. Really? You gotta be kidding me. Oh, you're now out of... Are you out of range now? Because this guy's in your way? Go figure. Okay, there you go. Alright, I almost screwed that one up. Out of resolve, and there goes the Slan. Rock's last Slan, and we will take the money because the replenishment is fairly minimal, even though it will max us out. And you are not able to be in our own territory, so you'll go into channeling stance. And Mad's map. Funnily enough, if later on we send Abnagg out to sea, we can put the Mad's map on him and just see where he ends up. Might be kind of an amusing gimmick for this guy. Also, grab armor, or... You know what, let's max out Tyrant first. Your army is strong enough that these guys aren't going to stand a chance. They're just gonna have to hope that Scaff Growlish doesn't get immediately killed off by the rats. As he is bellicose and he has some good traits on him, as it would be tremendously unfortunate to lose him. You know what, grab Unyielding Command for the additional character aura to keep this guys fighting longer in case something like that happens. You guys are good where you are because you can't reach Gorok. I'm gonna hope that he does not go around us and head to Chupayodel. Let's move into ambush stance right here. And we'll see if he goes around us. And frankly, if he takes Chupayodel, he takes Chupayodel. There's nothing we can do about it. Alright, let's do that. A million billion plagues everywhere. Once again, I'm just glad that this isn't a rat plague. Alrighty, we need to transfer 200 more to the Lost Valley, or 100 more to the Lost Valley. So let's take from, I guess, River Curveza to the Lost Valley, like so. Which will enable us to rush this at Oishel, which will make it worth more to us. Free constructor as well. Also, before I forget, we wanted to build the obsidian here, but in order to do so, we need to upgrade this and presumably rush it, but we'll need to do that next turn. Alright, fair enough. Fair enough. These guys no longer have any agreements with us. Oh, and not really? Now you guys are starting to like each other? So funny. Okay, well, if we fight them, we can just hopefully get the war declaration going since they've already broken all their agreements. Alrighty, anyway, Oishel. You. Now it should be worth more. 175, good. Then we will ask you to join the war against, I'm going to say, Kultasotek. Eshwatla. Pestilence is basically dead. How about Puppets of Misrule? Ooh, you do not want to join war against Puppets of Misrule. What about Speaking Trees? Speaking Trees is reasonable. What about Death Sword's Warband? Both of those are reasonable. Followers of Nagash will be fighting for a while. Clan Pestilence... Itza will be dead in one turn, so it doesn't matter, and Clan Pestilence will as well. So we could do the Puppets of Misrule, though we cannot. What about Speaking Trees and Death Sword? Okay, I wish I remembered which one was stronger. I think speaking trees are more likely to be destroyed, but let's just see. 31 versus 17. Let's do this and take their money. I like so.
I suppose.
Now we're going up to minus 94. I can't believe that gift is barely worth anything. Wait, but now you're at war with 1 billion factions. Shouldn't you be friendlier? You should really be friendlier. Is this a malice due to aversion? I'm not entirely sure what's happening here. Why this is so difficult. Granted, I've never tried something like this before, so maybe that's the case. I'd be really disappointed if this doesn't work. The problem is they're likely to break their agreements at this rate. Which ain't so great. I'll just have to keep trying. Just have to keep trying. And you guys are fine. Alright, what else do we have in terms of this particular turn? Where's Zukani Truai again? Oh, right, you're supposed to be near Rugni Unzalad. You guys... And you are there as well, yeah. So you guys will travel together. I'm gonna send you up to deal with Mr. Mazdamundi, or to help against Mr. Mazdamundi. Kawash will most likely fall. Despite being fairly well defended, it's not gonna stand against 3 armies. And, oh. Yanbo appears to have sent out his main stack to fight them. That's not great. But it is what it is. Also, you are now at war with Kashuatla and against Darkan, right? Actually, so wait. Would you now join the war against Darkan?
Other than
No. No. And we're going to have to deal with him ourselves sooner rather than later. Alright, fair enough. You guys all need to sort of move together to join your armies and then split off into multiple armies, but we can do that either at the Southern Sentinels or at the Sentinel of Time. At one of the Sentinels, basically. And then split 2 off to take all of this stuff, and then the 3rd to go back up northward to grab the Star Tower and kill off the Elves, while the others kill off the Elves here, and then get ready to fight these Tomb Kings and those Tomb Kings. And probably we'll need another army up north. Frankly, I'd be shocked if the High Elves didn't declare war on us fairly soon as well, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Alrighty, armaments are fine for now. Our money is still dropping, but it's raw materials that we need more than anything else. Which means, wait, we gave them away Shul, we'll give them Subaton next turn, we'll see how much it's worth afterwards. Actually, in fact, get curiosity, how much is Subaton worth now? 11? Oh, that's terrible. Okay, I had assumed that this would be worth a decent bit, but it's actually worth nothing, so we'll replace it with a military structure instead. And this will keep as it is for now. As I recall, Quetzal is most likely worth a decent amount, right? Well, there we go. Quetzal is worth 75, as opposed to Shodel, which is worth 35. Yeah, interesting. I'm actually wondering whether the strip mine is worth more than the, military structures. Be an interesting thing, if it is in fact the case. Anyway, what else do we have? You guys are staying there. Gorok might get around you, he might not. Sumai Asgax, you have gotten a couple of Nangao Grenadiers. And are going to wait, I think, until we can get you some crane gunners, or I did want some jet lines as well, and I did want some fire rain rockets. Alright, just wait a bit, buddy. Alright, we need more public order. We need more mine shafts. We could rush this one. Rush it. Oh, like, so it's a little bit more raw materials. Not as much as I'd like, though. And these 2 mine shafts are maxed out, unfortunately, so we can't do anything else with them. There are probably other mine shafts around as well. Oh, and we need to upgrade Wallatal. Alright, this mine shaft is good. You 2 are fine as you are. I could upgrade the gold refinery, but frankly, despite the need for gold, we also need raw materials, and we probably need them more. I was going to use Itza to have a bunch of strip mines in it, but with these guys in position, it might not be quite as workable as I'd like. Alright, we're gonna have to rely on Great Turtle Isle, which will mean upgrading this thing then to upgrade the mine shaft therein. We probably could rush it for 280. Just gotta be careful. Alright, rush it. And build up the next mine shaft. And it's 1,000 gold, build that up. Alrighty. And then we'll need to rush the battlements here as fast as we can. Oh, efficiency has dropped slightly because of this place. Okay, fair enough. We'll go from here and from here to here. Like so. At least the public order is looking pretty decent now, minus Amazonia, but there's no, you know, there's no labor coming out of there, so it doesn't matter. We've got 1 turn until the influx of money and labor, that's good. And I do believe, let's do a quick Diplo check though. Clan Molder, what about trade goods? World Walkers want to trade. We can't. I would love to, but we can't because of the Dwarfs. And Death Sword's Warband wants peace. But they're at war with the Spinosota Dwarfs now, and so are the puppets. Oh wait, no, I didn't get the Puppets of Misrule thing going. Alright, we'll do that later. And then I guess we'll do the same thing, attempt to do the same thing with the elves. We already have the Cult of Sotek. We could potentially do these guys afterwards, as soon as we declare war, but we need an army positioned here in order to defend, because the Sentinels of Jati is not going to be able to hold against full stack. Skip, and end the turn. Let's see what happens. I'm really hoping that Scav Growlish doesn't get killed by rats. Because if they come out of the Sentinels of Time with a stack or something resembling a stack, they will be able to instant ambush. We got an ambush. I actually didn't remember putting you in ambush. Oh wait, no, we were trying to catch Gorok, and we just cut this guy instead. Alright, fair enough. And take the labor. And where will Gorok... Ah, see, that's what I was expecting. Damn it. Oh, that's annoying, but yeah, they can't beat him. And so he basically kills himself doing this. Just to annoy the player, he will lose his one and only stack. It's very weird behavior from the AI, and he's not even going to try to defend his last territory. Just one last screw you, apparently. And the unfortunate aspect of this is going to cost us resources to rebuild that, but this is what it is. This Sword's Warband. No. No peace. Only war. And we'll probably need a few more war declarations to get these guys to join more stuff. Hey, another Hobgob standard. That's the second one. Alrighty, Rotten not destroyed. Karasakarak destroyed. Soon these are going to be the only dwarfs left on the map. Hey, Lucky Arrow. That's nice. I wanted you for Rukani the Red. Yes? Yes. More range. And also this army should grab that Hobgob standard. Alright, so we'll take the opportunity to... Let me just see if there's anything useful here. Alright, Spell Rod Scepter and Scepter of Stability fuse. What do we have here? A Forbidden Rod. Nice. Those are going to some Demon Smiths as soon as we have some spare Demon Smiths. Okay, you are going to grab that Lucky Arrow. It's not a great item, but a little bit of extra range. Berserker Sword and Sword of Nothing. Okay, never mind. I don't think there's anything else that we can fuse. Everything else here will be of use. In theory. Eventually. Again, we will eventually have a lot of heroes, but... not yet. Alrighty, Luckstone will probably fuse into something. Creator, convoy completed, good. Settlement receives plague. Yeah, all of Lustria is going to be implaned soon. Lord check, please, please. Ugh, no dice. No dice at all. Alright, Rugne, I would like you to grab a second Hobgob standard. Like so. And we can probably steal... Wait. Jar. Oh. It'll be 3 turns until we can get this back. Alright, so we can grab this. Claim seat. Every single one of these seats is a 2% construction reduction faction-wide, and every single one of these is 1% upkeep reduction faction-wide, so we need to just keep taking those as much as we can. You. What will be the fastest way to reach the north? Actually, you know what? Go here. I'm thinking if we could have you attack the Golden Colossus on the way northward, maybe that will work. Let's hope so. Do this, and then you guys go here, and go here. Alright, then we took out something somewhere. Go figure. Oishul Sabaton, yes. We will need to build the ash level here and spend money on it, and probably also rush it, which means we need to transfer 200 again? Good lord, alright. Fine, 200 to... Was this the Lost Valley still? Yes. Sabaton, Lost Valley. We will transfer from... Oh, these guys are no longer making an example, which unfortunately does need to be done soon, but let's do this for now. Lost Valley. Like so. Then we will rush this place, making it worth more. Then, we will head... Wait, I just want to see something. Scaff Growlish, see what's in the Sentinel of Time. Nothing. I wasn't expecting that. Okay. Colonizes factory. Someone receives plague, go figure. And immediately build the workshop. Yes. Then, before I forget, we need to build up the Great Turtle Isle thing to tier 3, though costly, and I think we'll need to rush it and transfer back. The main thing here is to next turn, this turn, be able to build the Obsidian Quarry, and frankly, I'd like to rush this as well. There we go. A decent little bit of extra raw materials coming in, and we just need to now transfer a bunch of raw materials to increase for the workload. We have the factory, and the rest of this is looking okay. You know what? Rush this as well. Alright, then we need to transfer a ton of laborers specifically to the Turtle Isles. Alright, so Turtle Isles, you will need about 1,000, actually a little bit more. So we'll lose 2 from here, 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 and 2 from here. Alright, we can no longer afford to rush because this puts us to nearly even labor-wise, considering labor losses. Yeah. Alrighty. But we're up to 2.5k raw materials per turn, which is just great. Then we need to frickin' Gorok. So annoying. Alrighty, I guess, yeah, you have movable mountain, right? Yeah. One of you, doesn't really matter. Do you have movable mountain? You have Reptilian Ravager. What do you have? Frankly, it doesn't really matter which one of you does. What kind are you? You are Sorcerer Prophet of Metal. You're a Sorcerer Prophet of... Oh, you're both Sorcerer Prophets of Metal. Love it. Okay, just one of you kill this. You go here. Gal, kill. Kill Gal. And... actually moving quite far. I wanted to be able to reach the Southern Sentinels, but that looks like it ain't happening in one turn. Also, where are the rats? Because they have one more territory somewhere. Yeah, maybe if I know where that is, though. It's not here, right? We checked. There was nothing there. Right? Buildings and events, so the Scam and Corruption isn't going up. They might have taken over a ruin somewhere in the world. The problem with this is that they could randomly sail over and we don't know where they'd be coming from. Which ain't great for us. I'm just gonna have to deal with it though. No agreements of any kind. Probably enough Clan Pistons would want to peace out right now. But that does make sense. Alrighty, I'm not sure. We'll just have to deal with it. Abnagg, you need to proceed to the Southern Sentinels. Would you be able to raid this territory by going here? I don't think so. This is 50%? Consumes 50 campaign movement range, so I take it that it is, so we won't be able to raid. Alright, so stay in our territory then. Go to the edge of this and you'll hit the Southern Sentinels next turn. You then will kill... You will kill Gorok, you will reinforce against Gorok, and I guess you could leech against Gorok. And you had to go into the swampland, didn't you? Alrighty, you do this. Out of it. I'm sorry, Pyrrhic victory? Pyrrhic victory, that's what you're telling me right now. Against this. Pyrrhic victory. Why are you insane, auto-resolve? I don't think we can risk medium casualty. Alright, let's just max speed this quick as we can. I'm just gonna manually fight this. It's not worthy of a cinematic battle. It's just the game being obnoxious sometimes. Admittedly, there does appear to be a lot of trees in the way. Actually, Agora could take the advantage of us having to deploy to move towards us, in theory. That's what I'd do in his place. You guys go here. Actually, you go all the way out here. I just want to see if he reacts to you in any way. And start battle, and do this, and... Oh, you're on the ground. What? You're in the forest. Hide. How difficult is it to hide? Really? Look at that, he's not hiding at all. There you go. I don't know why that was so difficult. Alrighty, and we'll continue speeding this up until everybody else is on field, which should start any second now. It looks like they won't react to you. Well, actually, you could cast some spells at them. Alright, there we go. Let us reposition now. You guys go here. This will be your firing line. We'll position the drum directly behind you, and these guys over you. We will take the melee troops, put them in front, then we will do this, we will do this, actually this, and you guys are going to be needing to protect the flanks as lots of the enemies are coming. You three are going to kill Gorok. I would like the Blazing Beards of Bajorak to be, actually no, you can go like this. It doesn't have to be super good, whatever. You guys gonna be in front, and let's put some laborers here and here. Little archer units here and here. Turn off your skirmish mode. Skullcrackers, move on here. Who else is on field? You three? Just go here, I don't really care. And then you are gonna go cast some stuff. I did not move you and you up here. There, just go there, whatever. Alright, everybody else is good, I take it. You move here. What the heck? Where did I... Okay, Blazing Beards of Bajorak here. There we go. Okay, I was wondering where that one unit was. And I think that's everybody moving, right? Okay, it's just gonna take a little bit of time for the cannons to move into place. Alright, go, max speed. Set up, get ready. And we can start the battle out by annoying the enemy with a quick little Gehennas as soon as the flame cannons are placed. What the heck are you two doing? Oh, I didn't move. Okay, actually, I should have moved you. You go here. You can start off with accuracy. You can just go in place somewhere. Like so. And cannons are in place. They are. Alright, good. Start, go. I don't know. Skin cohort of javelins, more threatening. There we go. That should annoy the enemy enough to move towards us, right? Right? No? Alright. Fire mage, come here. Max speed. I probably should have just tried to kill everything with fire magic, or just... there it is. Alright, get a breath going on that skink cohort like so. You've got another Gehennas in a few seconds. There we go. Flame cannons firing away. Let's pop off this like so. Damage at one little... Actually, barely harmed that unit of Temple Guard. And... Is this a Temple Guard unit? Yeah, it is. Guys, move. There we go. Alright, what do we have? Any other spells? What the heck? Oh, that unit is just running away because it's dead. I was wondering. Did I turn off skirmish mode on you too? I did indeed. What else do we want? Maybe get a quick little fireball through those ranks of Temple Guard. You maybe distract this unit of skink cohorts. And if Gorok wants to turn upon you, more power to him, I suppose. And hey, there we go. The fast movers have arrived. Skullcrackers, you've been waiting for this. And go and move on in. We'll also buff you up like so. Alright. And let's do one of these. Wait. Actually, maybe wait until the Temple Guard move on in. What are you? You're fine, that's what you are. Alright, you attack this. You guys mob this, but not our actual units. Let's buff everybody like so. You can fire at Gorok. You can slow Gorok down. Like so. You can wither him away for now. And Skullcrackers, you're both in, right? You, I guess, can now switch to armor. Alright, you. Anything else we want to do? I mean, I guess we could buff everybody's damage slightly. Like so. Gorok should be done for shortly. You can attack him. Let's Plague Arustum. Let us drop a few more spells. Skullcrackers go after this little unit of Feral Cold Ones. And you maybe even want to land and go after them. There we go. Anything else? Battle should be over now. Any second. Who's still kicking? This Temple Guard is still fighting. Alright, you go fly over there and drop a Gehenna's Golden Hound just directly on top of all this nonsense. Alright, and the speed back up to max. Yada, yada, yada. And there it is. Alright, and okay, down goes Gorok. I'm gonna end it immediately rather than chasing down. We probably could have gotten a little bit in the way of extra labor, but at the same time, I didn't want to risk some of our units getting killed by our other units. Especially at max speed. Too bad we can't steal the Sun Standard of Chotek. I assume that's what this is. It's the one, I think it's the one that provides missile resistance and then little aura. That would be great for pretty much any army. Assuming that's the one. I feel like you should be able to steal unique standards from other factions. I mean, maybe not magical standards, I guess. Anyway, oh, can't tell which unit it's on anyway. We've got money and labor. Frankly, we might need the labor more than we need money right now, so we'll take the labor. Alright, and Gorok is destroyed, never to rise again. We got a Demon Flask of Ashek. Alright, a second one of these. And another Tormentor Sword. Now that's a nice pickup. I lose the Luckstone as well, not for you. Alrighty, you guys are you stuck in the swampland now, so you're gonna take attrition? Or at least our main stack isn't nuts. That's what matters. Alrighty, I assume the Southern Sentinels is... Oh wow, it's actually well defended, look at that. Huh. I didn't realize it was a walled settlement, but obviously it is. Alright, fair enough. You is Dubar. I might have you reinforce the Southern Sentinels, so let's send you out here. We still have to head down here as well, but you also have to meet up with these guys. All of you have to meet up with these guys. Actually, everybody here has to meet up and swap units, so I will do that. Hopefully I can do that between the episodes. We do have a decent amount of armaments coming in as well, so if we want to build some more capacities of stuff like the lava fields and the altar of fire, now's a decent time to do it. Anywhere else? Build capacities. Shalanwapek? No, you are waiting to... Well, yes, you are waiting to build the high-quality assembly line, but at the same time, go for another demon smithy, at least to start, until we can upgrade you. Ashalodal, you need to be tier 3, and I think we can't afford it right now. We will probably be trading Itza, so we're not going to invest in it. Great Turtle Isle, you are in a decent place, and I think... I was about to say we could do the... Yeah, do the donation barrel. I was about to say we could do the capacity instead of the donation barrel, but it's probably fine as it is. And your capacities are good. And actually, wait, do we have any? Ah. We got a bully. I do like the 25% hit points. That's pretty nice. And I don't dislike the Vanguard deployment. Resentful, and I think... Yeah, we don't have capacities for anybody else, unfortunately, as yet, but we're getting there. Alright, and I believe that's all we can do this turn. Unless I'm mistaken. Sentinels of Time.
Come then,
which is worth to you.
Spit out your words
what?
So I can be done with them.
Oh, Subaton. Okay, yes. Wrong thing. Subaton. 90. Okay, join war against Puppets of Misrule. Minus 80. Okay, that's not happening. Speaking Trees. Alright, that's decent. Land Pestilence? No dice. It's, no dice, really. So it's just Speaking Trees, which admittedly are far away. I don't like that. Huh. Is there anybody else? Well, there is technically these guys, but we can't declare war on them as yet. I'm wondering if we could declare war on somebody else somewhere on the map. And have them fight them too. Clan Wars is a decent option.
Clan Wars!
Because they'll probably be around for a while yet. Though they are trading with the Disciples of the Moth, who'll get angry at us, but hopefully we can overcome that. Alright, so... Yeah, let's do Clan Wars. We will declare war on you directly. We won't ask these guys to join, because, frankly, the Svenisotech Dwarfs will probably just say no, because they are angry at us. Don't call allies to help. Like so. Well, then, we will directly ask you to help by going to trade Subaton.
Talk at me in your crude language if you must. I make no promises as to the outcome.
For Clan Wars. Good. And Speaking Trees? No dice on the Speaking Trees. Alright, fair enough. 34 versus Speaking Trees. 32. They're worth about the same. Alright, and give us your money. Giving you poor for now, but that's fine, I think. Alright, do this. How are we looking at now? Minus 89. The gifts are... How is this only minus 12? I'm hoping that once we are sort of closer to positive, the gifts will start being worth more, rather than being worth 1 per settlement. I've never seen it be this low before, because these guys actually like gifts quite a bit. For example, currently gifts given us 2. If we give them 2,000 gold.
On behalf
Gifts given goes up to 10. So it's 8 for a mere 2,000 gold, whereas a settlement is worth way more. So once again, I'm just going to assume that this is a version doing this. Or at the very least, I hope it is. We shall see. Anyway, and like I said, I do believe that's an end turn. Yes, skip. Convoy dispatch available. Oh, right. Okay, I almost forgot to do that. So you guys are coming back. Do either of you need levels? You both need levels. Oh, wow, this convoy is ready to go. You grab cargo capacity, I suppose, and the other one. Okay, so you're one of the short trip convoys, at least for now. You can grab, I guess, cargo capacity to start as well. Alright, so short trip convoy, covert, and master. We will send you the Great Hall of Greasus again, I think, for laborers. And I'm gonna say trade armaments for laborers. 500 for 500. Not great, but 7 turns versus 3 turns. Yeah, no, this is better. Isn't me or are short trips just straight up better? Huh, weird. Alrighty, create convoy and war machinist. You're the long trip guy, so what do we have? Well, I guess if short trips are better, it doesn't really matter, but could go directly for money here at the Bay of Blades if we wanted to. 1350 for 700 versus for 13 turns. No, this is still better. I guess you're going to the Bay of Blades. Fair enough. And frankly, not waiting longer is great. Ooh. Tamarkan has taken out Karakazorn, has returned to Firemouth unharmed. He's got 2 armies there, unfortunately. How are we doing here? Okay, we got 1 more turn until we get access to your global recruitment, and hopefully start picking up some of those ogre units. We at least want to acquire lead belchers and actually maybe some scrap launchers. Maybe some giants, but they cost so much it's not super likely compared to some of the other stuff. I don't really care about most of the regular melee ogre units, but we could use some monstrous infantry, I suppose. That is more tanky than Kadai are, because they're fairly fragile. Sumai Asgax. I was kind of inclined to send Nungao Grenadiers to join one of those armies, but maybe we'll wait, once again, until we can recruit. Though I kind of dislike them just sort of sitting there and not, you know, getting anything out of them. I'll think about it. Also, ooh, yes, let's rename a few of you. You can be Accursed Legion, and you can be Fireglaves. We'll go for Infernal Steel Legion. There you go. All right, 2 legions. All right, good enough. Let's end the turn now. I'm also still annoyed that one of our Castlans got wounded. Not surprised, but annoyed. Alrighty, and these guys are back, but not for long. I see 2 of their heroes are unwounded. You want peace treaty. I don't know where your ruins are on the map, and frankly, I was going to say, frankly, I don't care. I somewhat care, because again, I would love to be able to predict what direction you're going to be coming from, but eh. Yeah, we're down to 108 factions on the map as well. Alrighty, looking okay now. Was that Speaking Trees destroyed? Damn it, we just had them declare war on them too. Free Charybdis in this army, but at a loss of 100 cargo. Honestly, I'm almost inclined to keep the cargo. We have plenty of monsters and stuff in this army. You know what? Decline the trade. If this was the other army, the one that also had a Charybdis, I'd double up on it, but you know, decline the trade for now. Speaking Trees destroyed. Not great, because I wanted these guys to be at war with more factions that we're at war with. Although it's not actually counting. I'm not seeing any positives from being at war with them, but hopefully by virtue of being close to these guys, they're going to be a little bit more willing. And all the chaotic corruption might force these guys to lose a few territories, which we can then hopefully trade back to them for, you know, agreements. Yeah. Anyway, Abnagg Hellbeard, I would like you to hit the Southern Sentinels. And I mean, it's a good... Oh, right, they have the Eatson barriers as well. But I think we'll be okay, especially with Mr. Scaff Growl reinforcing, which would allow you to move to... you're gonna be out of range of Mangrove Coast? Tell me none of you can reach Mangrove Coast. What the heck? Oh, did you get slowed? Of course you got slowed. You probably would have been able to reach this place if your movement range wasn't crippled. And you have to come out of the swamp, so that doesn't work either. Slightly annoying, I will admit.
Not this time.
I was hoping to send you out here. Might move you to reinforce this as well, but frankly not needed. But we could have you leech the XP and then trade units afterwards. Alright, fine, we'll do this. I don't know if I'll actually use any of your units, but we'll use you to reinforce for now. Ah, Hanneman's coming back, so we'll need to take that out as soon as we separate, and also keep an eye on our coastline, but it looks like we're okay. There was something I wanted to build with raw materials as well, but I'm blanking on what exactly it was. I think we need to upgrade one of these territories. That one was low level. But there was a specific reason that I wanted to do it, and I don't remember what it is anymore. Oh, I did want to upgrade you to get the iron here. That's why. Although the armaments that it provides... Iron gives us armaments, not raw materials, right? Yeah, no, it's armaments. That's not a big deal. And same with wood. Also gives us armaments. Actually surprised wood directly goes into armaments rather than raw materials, but I guess you need a lot of arrows to outfit the hobgob hordes. What's our labor at? Okay, we're in decent shape once again. Although I am tempted, you know what, go for set an example here. This place's public order is rather low, and then transfer maybe a couple, just a little bit of labor to you. Let's say like that. There we go. All right, that should be sufficient for now. Diplomacy check real quick. Lord check real quick. Disciples of the Maw want a non-aggression pact, and the rest of this is chaotic stuff. And these guys want peace. And we may want some more war declarations. Oh, also, Sentinel of Time. We could probably rush it in order to get the construction going. Although I'm a little bit wary of using it. Anyway, Conclave and Punce Tower. What do we have here? We've got all of these. We can take this fairly cheaply, though. We can't take this back for another turn or two, so that's going to have to wait, and these are rather expensive. And we could grab the Master of the Conclave if we grab this, but right now I'm more inclined to get the stuff that gives us direct benefits to our economy. So I'm going to say let's grab Warmonger, and we'll keep ignoring these for now. Claim seat. And that faction isn't there anymore, so it's not like they can get angry about it. Alright, Abnagg, you will lead once again the Admiral back onto the... Heroic victory. Heroic victory. Heroic victory against this. Okay. Alrighty, here we go. Since Abnagg Hellbeard has returned, it's only fair that he gets another fight for himself in this particular episode. And this time, we will be able to put those Death Shriekers and Hell Cannons to use in a siege, which I'm sure they're going to be extremely effective at. Now, first volley takes about half HP from the Demolisher rockets hitting that enemy fort tower. And it will be down in short order, and in fact, let's just speed it up as we got a lot of enemy wall to work through. I know, solid damage to the enemy hero, the enemy Sora Scarvet on top of those walls. Those poor Lothar and Seaguard also get absolutely annihilated, and the tower falls. We are also waiting for our reinforcements to arrive, which means a lot of potential bombardment to the enemy. Though, admittedly, the Itzen barrier will probably help a lot more of them survive than otherwise might perhaps be likely. Anyway, time for the Fire Glaives to fire at the enemy on top of the walls as well, even as the first of the walls start to come down under artillery fire. For some of that classic chaos of dwarven domination. There we go. Lovely to see those Death Shriekers come down on the walls as well. And I'm surprised that these Lothar and Seaguard didn't shatter with 5% of their HP remaining. Well, they'll have less than 5% of their troops remaining in short order, as the artillery has actually destroyed all of the Merlins, and the enemy has nothing to hide behind before being destroyed to a man. But credit to those elves for defending their... Oh, actually, there's a few of them left, but credit to most of those elves for defending their allies. Anyway, some of the enemy units are going to move to plug the breach, apparently, though we have not yet drawn close to it with our own units, and thusly, if the enemy wants to mill around like this, the Hell Cannons and the Death Shriekers can certainly punish them for it. Again, I do prefer field battles, generally speaking, because the AI just isn't good at sieges. It doesn't really recognize... I mean, it does sometimes recognize the need to move away from artillery and range fire generally, but it does this by sort of retreating deeper into the enemy settlement rather than using the walls for cover, whereas a player might position a bunch of units sort of here in the shadow of the wall where they'd be safe from artillery fire, but still able to quickly close the distance and plug breaches as needed. Though admittedly, the AI has been doing decent jobs of actually plugging breaches like this, like holes in the enemy walls and gates and whatnot. Speaking of, however, it does look like a unit of Saurus warriors is out of control and will head through the breach into the waiting lasers of the fire glaives. And that's not a place you want to be. The Saurus warriors will quickly get gunned down as they leave the enemy settlement. And that attempt to sally was always doomed to fail, let's face it. Alright, well, the Pew Pew lasers will continue their work as they bring down the last of the poor Saurus, and our artillery might want to open up another breach in the wall. And oh, Abnagg even got to kill 6 of them himself as a few of them closed the distance with him. And he will menacingly walk at them as they try to run away. 20 movement speed. Admittedly, the fella's a little bit slow, but what can you do? I've been meaning to keep at least a couple of lords on foot, not just have everybody on mounts. It could be a potential option for it. Anyway, time to bring down that wall, and as we do, I think I'm just going to speed it up a teensy bit as we send, rather than artillery, some units at the enemy gate. We also have the Death Shriekers switch to Demolisher rockets, now to target that poor Dino. Demolisher rockets, fantastic at annihilating big targets like this. I first learned the great use of them taking down dragons in, well, one of the other Chaos Dwarfen campaigns. I don't remember whether it was in Drajuats or whether it was in Zatans. But I suppose it doesn't matter. Ooh, hello, looks like some units of Ripperdactyls moving. Well, that's a curious move. Oh! That's not good. The Ripperdactyls turn mid-flight and rear charge our unit of Infernal Ironsworn. Unfortunately, the Hell Cannon homing projectile immediately hits them, but instead severely damages our own Ironsworn. I know that the AI didn't really do that on purpose, but it was a pretty interesting move. Gotta appreciate it. Unfortunately for the fragile Ripperdactyls, they immediately get surrounded by Bull Centaur Renders and torn to shreds, and the mass of the Centaur Renders also prevents them from running. In the meantime, while we're here, since we're here, we may as well take advantage of the breaches in the walls, as the enemy will try to plug them with Temple Guard and Saurus, and we will try to get through them using the mass of the Bull Centaurs, supported by Infernal Guard. And of course our artillery still have ammunition, so that will continue to come down. I do believe Abnagg also defeated this Saurus Scar veteran by whacking away at him a few times. And we are working on breaking down that gate with our Infernal Guard as well. Plus, this way, rather than clearing out the entire enemy sort of settlement with our range units, we can allow our melee units to fight. Unfortunately, I always forget when actually fighting these battles that the camera won't go through the breaches, so can't quite zoom in as much as I'd like on the melee action, but at least these units get to play. Which is a nice thing. It is going to take them quite the while to break through enemy Temple Guard, however, as obviously Temple Guard are very solid defensive units. And we gotta make sure that those Razor Dawn hunting packs don't fire away at us. If let do their thing, they're much more threatening than Temple Guard just because of how rapidly they can dish out massive amounts of damage. And such, a unit of Kadai Fireborn will be summoned on top of them. Even if they don't kill them, what they can do is force them into Rampage if they take sufficient damage, so hopefully that'll work out nicely. There is, however, a second unit that is moving in to probably fire upon the units within the breach, and so we're going to target our artillery at this unit as well. Although, due to their heavy armor and their loose formation, kind of hard to say which of the artillery types would actually do decent work against them. Frankly, I think the best kind might be a type with lots of explosive damage. It does look like the Demolisher rockets can hit individual units, but the problem is each individual artillery piece within each individual model, artillery model, within a unit seems to target the same unit. So when you use Demolisher rockets, all 4 Demolisher rockets hit a single unit, and thus the first one kills it, and then all the rest typically crash into nothing. Although that time the game had to make me look like an idiot, so it did clip another one. But nonetheless. But the point stands. Rest assured. Anyway, the Temple Guard are, perhaps unsurprisingly, still holding, and now a Reviv Crystal has actually joined them, making them all the tougher to bring down. Time to bring some flame and shadow down upon them as well, lowering their HP further as we continue attempting to make our way through these breaches. On the bright side, though, the gate has now been torn down by the Infernal Guard. Or one of the units of Infernal Guard, I should say, and this will hopefully allow some of the fire glaives to enter the enemy settlement. The first one taking position up on top of the walls to start pew-pewing at the enemy down below. A rallying unit of Lothern Sea Guard will attempt to take a few shots at us, but will rapidly get annihilated by those fire glaives. And there we go. And honestly, with Warhammer 40k Total War coming, I mean, you could put a Fire Glaive unit right into 40k and it would fit right in, right? I mean, look at these guys. And so I guess a bit of a preview of what's to come in some ways. Anyway, Kroxigors and Cold One Riders are still fighting, but more of our Fire Glaives are entering the enemy's settlement now, and it looks like one of the breaches has been cleared. We actually back off now with our Bull Central Renders, as they have started to take damage. Abnagg is still fine, however, and all of our heroes have moved into the enemy's settlement best they can. We gotta clear out those darn Reviv Crystals, of which there are 2. Good for the enemy, because you need 2 for them to heal each other, not just the other units nearby, since their effect doesn't, apply to them themselves. That said, by the looks of it, this battle is approaching its end, and that does also mean that most of the enemy range units that would otherwise be a threat to our Sky Lanterns are no longer there. Especially with us engaging the last of the Razor Dawns, and thusly these Sky Lanterns are able to be sent over the walls. There was a mod that gave us a couple of, gave the Chaos Dwarfs a couple of flying units of their own. I don't remember the mod, and I did look into it before the start of the campaign. Unfortunately, it's been abandoned. Actually, a surprising amount of apparently quite nice and big Chaos Dwarf mods have been abandoned. Hopefully they'll be brought back eventually when the game reaches its end of service, or at the very least end of updates. Maybe no more stuff from CA at some point, but more stuff from modders, so that'll counteract that. Anyway, by the looks of it, this battle is done. We have broken through at last, and the enemy has no hope remaining. Do love these lizardman cities. What is the point of this big old pile of water in the middle of the city? What is this? Somebody explain this to me. What is this? What does this do? Is this just some fancy thing for no reason, or is there actually a purpose to this big old water? There doesn't appear to be an aqueduct or anything feeding that. And we do know that there are... yeah, there's more water up here. We do know that there are aqueducts in the... oh, huh, maybe the purpose is to store water so it can rain down like this? I don't know. Neat stuff, though. I was about to say there are aqueducts in some High Elven cities, I want to say, or is it Bretonnian city? I want to say High Elven cities. Not that it matters over much. A nice fight. A very nice fight indeed. Alright, there we go. Dragon Main Gem, rather useless, but a solid 500 labor for our efforts, and you gotta admit, a rather nice fight once again for Mr. Abnagg, who managed to rack up 25,000 damage, and defeat one lord and severely damage another. We did take some damage on the Infernal Guard and some of the Bull Centaur renders, but unsurprisingly, as we were intending to give them a nice little bit of fighting and melee, rather than having the, the artillery and the range, just destroy the enemy from range. And it's not like the artillery and stuff didn't do work. 21k damage, 24k damage with high damage delta's gold value. In fact, matching the hell cannons pretty much exactly in terms of gold value. Lower kills, obviously, but these guys are focused more on infantry, and these guys were focused on, using their demolisher rockets. We will occupy the place as tower. Yes. And there we go, with that, Itza is at last destroyed. Hey, another black gem of Nar. Sure. And a Berserker Sword, which we can turn into something. Settlement receives Plague, yep, and they're going to be long plagues because of the Urfather's Crown. Plus 10 turn duration on plagues, and plus 100% chance of spreading, so it's another reason, I suppose, to send Abnagg over to conquer Arcan's territories fast as we can. Anyway, you don't need to channel, but you might want to move to reinforce against these guys. Although we will also want to, again, like I did say, trade stuff. It might be a good idea then to end the turn in that light. Wait a moment, you guys can still move? Yeah, it is a new turn. Alrighty, so what I would like you to do... Wait, do you guys like each other now? Still not yet. It's probably then a good time to potentially attack them. So Rugni and Zeled go here. Wait, you could raid there too. No, you cannot. Alright, you go here. You guys go for... Oh, they got 2 armies there. Oh my. This should actually potentially be something of a fight for us, especially as there's a decent garrison there. I do not like how far you are. You can't reach them? Okay, well then. I'm going to have you positioned up here. And then you can move into reinforcement. We will need your pile of gob laborers. Hopefully we can actually reach the place next turn, but, I'm not risking you dying just... Yeah. Anyway. You guys are all in position. We do want to check our capacities now. Hey, we got another confrontational bully. Good. Let's get you on field, sir. Just as we started getting positive income again. Confrontational. 1,000 gold for one. Ugh, it's expensive. And resentful, volatile, and callous is not what we're looking for, and you guys aren't ready capacity-wise. Huh, does that mean there's another level to be built somewhere? Frankly, again, once all of these need to be upgraded, I think maybe we'll forgo getting gold and stuff and just use raw materials for a while to upgrade all of our towers, just so that we can use our armaments to increase capacities. And yeah, the lizards are still moving, so we gotta get a move on ourselves to move up there. Anybody else need to move? Umgakazgex? Umgakaz Asgex. You're fine, you're fine. You are not quite fine. You will, yeah, you will be fine. I believe we're good. Skip, skip, skip. Damage building. Damage building here, I take it? Oh, Chupa Yodel. I'm disinclined to pay for repairs right now. And the raw materials will be needed most likely to... Oh, right. We did want to maybe upgrade the Sentinel of Time to get you to... trading. Yeah, you know what? Let's rush you. You're going to need 180. So, let's transfer 200 to the Lost Valley once again. From, let's say... gotta be careful, though. From here and here to the Lost Valley. Like so. Then we will want to rush you, and then we will want to start building you, and we will want to start building you. And frankly, we will have to wait until next turn to Russia, but I would want these guys to join the war against the Tomb Kings, the Deserters of Katep, before they start liking each other. So that's gotta be soon. The fact that they like the fact that they broke their treaties with us is annoying. You'd think the dwarves would be sort of against breaking treaties, but not so much. Anyway, let's see. We have got wagon engineering coming up, which is not actually useful to us as yet, but extended shifts will be. Let's end the turn. And I did not want you to do that. Oh well, I'm just gonna hope that there isn't an army that can punish you for this. Man, we're really plaguinating all of Lustria. Look at that. Every single settlement is here. Nurgle's got to be real happy about all this. Oh, and these guys are going to keep trying to annoy us and kill off all of our heroes, but I don't know where their last settlement is, so they could potentially be doing this forever. We've got to get away from them. Are you gonna... Huh. So he broke his agreement 1 turn ago and will now attack us? I once again find it rather irritating how the AI is just free to completely ignore the massive reliability penalties that it takes from doing this sort of stuff. But it is what it is. Don't call allies to help. Rugni will get attacked here, I take it? Yeah. Bye. Yeah, there was another army. Alright. Well, good for them. Good for them indeed. Unfortunately, we won't have enough time to fight this particular battle of this particular episode, so I think we'll save it for next time. Maybe we'll give a war banner to the Oglacon's Wolf Boys and keep the Hobgob standards on more of these guys, especially the guys on the flanks, as they are liable to take a bit more damage. Anyway, we'll save this for the start of next episode. I was hoping to end the turn in order to do the sort of switcheroo of units between the episodes, between our 3 armies, but I guess we'll just do that next episode as well. So, calling it here next time, Rugni Unzilid and his gobs against 3 stacks of Tomb Kings who have suddenly attacked us without caring for the fact that they had to wait 10 turns, and next time we will punish them for it. And stay tuned for more Chaos Dwarfs. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, as they will determine how long this campaign continues to run for. Unfortunately, the engagement has been pretty poor in this particular campaign, and thusly... probably going to end around episode 20 at this current rate, but we'll see. Anyway, more to come. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.